Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, we are back in Belton County to go to the Belton County Comic-Con. You know I do this every year, and this year I want to especially thank John Guthrie for getting me a free pass. He's done that in the past. Actually, he didn't go to Comic-Con last year, so I was kind of on my own to do it. I did run into him and he said what happened is you know, he was going to try some sort of a horror fest thing that was going on at the Temple Mall instead, but decided that he was going to come back to Comic-Con this year. So looking forward to hooking up with him, seeing what's going on with Asilo, and just wandering around and watching the freak show. Come along. They build this as the largest Comic-Con in Central Texas, and it does attract people, all sorts of people. I've been walking like 5 minutes already, and I'm still only halfway to the main gate. Yeah, this place is packed. So this is obviously a big one. There's a lot of things to look at these. It's great to just wander around these places and people watch. Mike Myers just walked by me here, so yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. So what I tend to do with these places is just kind of systematically go on every row and just see what everyone has to offer. Most of this stuff I'm not really interested in, but there's some kind of fun stuff around here too. Look at all the Lego figurines. That's crazy. And I guess these are just for looking for. I don't think they're even selling these. Look at all these mugs and stuff. That's kind of cool. Wow. I just wonder how dishwasher safe these would be. My guess is not at all. Yeah, no running them through the dishwasher. And of course, you always get these places that sell the little cutlery here, the samurai swords, if you will. They aren't really, they don't really have a blade on them, but you know, they're good for kids that like to do the cosplay and look like have authentic looking props. I've always looked for a good batleth, and I'd probably buy one if I could ever find a quality one, but I haven't been able to do that yet. Seen a few of them in these kinds of places, but they're usually really cheap. There you go. I'm not sure exactly what this is all about, but it's clearly Harry Potter related. Because they got all the 4 flags of the different houses of Hogwarts. So, I don't know. Yeah, see, I think this car shows up every year at these, because I remember seeing it every time I've been here. These two, I think. A lot of this stuff here is just like local independent artists that do some of their own stuff and sell their wares. A lot of these people even do commissions where you kind of request something and they'll kind of work it up for you. So that's a lot of that going on around here. Okay, these guys are sponsors of Silo Scream, so we must be getting close. There's a little shop in a mall there in Temple Mall that sells all this kind of spooky, scary kind of stuff. I've been to the shop a couple times. They're kind of fun. Ooh, scary. And one thing to say about this year, it's usually really hot, and it's pretty hot here today, but it's not as hot as it's been, and so it's all right to be outside a little bit. They got the food out here, and always something to look at. That was interesting. I'm going to the rock shop after this, and I noticed they had a whole bunch of stuff that glowed under an ultraviolet light. And since I was going to my shop anyway, and usually bring my light with me, I decided to bring it with me into the Comic-Con here. And look at all the stuff what it does under a black light. Really cool stuff. And these people that do the little glowy things also have like paintings that like glow under black light too, so that's really cool. Look at those are pretty fun. And then sometimes you see something you didn't even know you needed. These are all mouse pads. I don't know, this guy seems really happy to be here. Actually, I'm back to this place again. I can't take my eye off these things. These things are awesome. I mean, you know how I love things that do something cool under a black light. Doesn't just have to be a rock, right? I don't know, I might have to take one of those home with me. I want to make sure I can get it home safely though, because it looks like they're kind of fragile. Mallapalooza, that was that thing that John Guthrie took Silo Screams to last year at the Temple Mall. Look at all the funny little rubber ducks. Some scary ones. It's funny, I've done a couple laps around this place. I haven't found Silo Screams yet, although I just heard the DJ talk about how they're here somewhere, and I've actually seen people walking around with Wanna Scream shirts, so I don't know. They're supposed to be here, but no such luck so far. Alright, well it turns out, like I said, I did a couple laps of this place and completely missed them. Apparently they're outside this one convention center, and it's an area where you turn left, and if you don't look right, you'd miss them. So stumbled upon Silo Screams. They're just kind of in an abnormal location this year. Got a little chance to talk to John. I'll tell you about that on my way out. Alright, so like I said, I got a chance to talk to John a little bit. He kind of broke a little news with me. You may remember a couple years ago I did an interview with John, and it's still actually up on his Silo Screams website. But one of the things he mentioned is that the plot of land that the Silo Screams is on is actually something that they're trying to develop as a business building. And apparently somebody is actually maybe kind of moving forward with that. And it's unsure at this point whether you know, they're going to be able to remain at the location. So they may be moving at some point. And he says he's not going to stop the Silo. He loves doing the Silo and wants to keep it up. But like I said, he might have to move to another location. There's plenty of stuff out in the Temple area. One of the things he really likes about that area is that it's next to like an active railroad track, and there's trains going through there all the time, and so that adds to kind of the creepiness of the Silo. But if they move to another location, you know, there's a bunch of places along the railroad track there that, you know, still kind of open land that he could probably get and develop. Now, it was kind of interesting. He was talking about something. Apparently, the person who owns the land that they've been using acquired some military aircraft, some F-4s and F-14s, and they've been sitting in a field in Temple for like more than a decade. And I think, yeah, he showed me some photos of them, and he's thinking about bringing them over to whatever the new Silo location is and developing that into some sort of a plane crash scenario with aliens and zombies and stuff like that. So, you know, he's definitely thinking ahead about what comes next, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see what goes on here. So anyway, I did pick up one of those little UV reactive things, and I'll show you that when I get home. Alright, so I'm back from the Comic-Con, and this is the one thing I did actually get for myself, for the, you know, because I thought it would look really cool in my ultraviolet mineral collection box here, which is what this is. And yeah, it looks really, really cool under a black light. You know, you can see how it glows, and if you turn out the light, you know, it looks really amazing. Now, it turns out this wasn't even my first choice. There was something else I was looking at that I kept showing on the camera here, and right about the time I was getting ready to pick it up and go with that one, somebody else grabbed it and I missed that one. So this was kind of my second choice. It looks really, really cool under there, and like I said, I love what it does under the black light. You know, it looks cool just as it is, but you know, you add all that cool lighting and stuff like that, and yeah, that's a pretty cool looking thing, right? Yeah, not the kind of thing you would have expected me to walk off with today, did you? And on the way home from the Comic-Con, I stopped by Gallery 11 to check out their stuff. I know I don't usually do that on here, but it seemed like a good wrap-up of the video. Kara actually gave me this piece, so you know, that's how much she appreciates my patronage. She'll find things in her collection and say, "Oh, Breck would love this," and basically that red that you see in there, that's a ruby. And I mean, I love rubies because rubies kind of do some really cool things under the black light. And I've also been telling Kara that I'm really kind of into like raw gemstones and stuff like that. And so she's been looking out for me on that. And in fact, she found me this thing. And this thing was way out of my price range, but I couldn't say no to it. This thing was so cool. And unfortunately, I got to take this one outside to show you, because you're not going to see how great this is until you look at it under the sunlight. But this is another gemstone. This is called an opal. And I don't know if the camera's doing a good job on it. One of the things that's really neat about opals is their flame, what they call their flame. It's all these shoots of color that exist in there. And I saw this one, I saw it under the light out there, and I said, oh man. She actually had two of them. She had this one and she had a blue one. And I really couldn't even decide which one I wanted. I ended up going with this one. And she says, well, if you like the other one will probably still be here. This is a kind of a bigger ticket item, and a lot of people, I guess, that go into the store don't necessarily want to part with that much money. But yeah, that's cool. Check that out. That's going to be an amazing piece to my collection, huh? I love opals. So anyway, I think this kind of wraps up our video for today. I hope you enjoyed tailing along with me to Comic-Con and taking a look at some of my newest rock collection pieces. Enjoy doing that a lot, as you know. So anyway, I think that's all I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.